Keep that all in there.
3, 2.
There you go. Hey guys, how you doing? John here with Bobby Valentine, aka Bobby V. Heard you're running for mayor of Stamford.
Rumor has it.
Rumor has it.
Yeah.
All right, good. And you've been in business with Bobby V's for 40 years?
About 40 years, 1980, yeah.
That's quite the run.
Not too bad.
Not
I
too
hope
bad.
you get at least 40 in.
We're going on 2, so we got a little
Little
room
ways
to
to
go.
go. Yeah,
We've been
yeah.
living in Stamford for 15 years.
That's been our blessing.
Yeah. And how long have you been in Stamford?
All of my life. I was born here in 1950, and my grandfolks came here in 1910.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, right down there where you were. They left Ellis Island and went to 72 Canal Street.
That's pretty incredible.
Huh?
And that whole area of the South End was what?
It was residential on Pacific Street and Canal Street, and everything else was industrial. And the lofts there were where almost every lock in the country is made at the Yale in town, the long loft building.
Got it.
Yeah.
So Lockworks.
That was
Yep.
Lockworks. That was the Yale in town building.
Very cool. And how much of Stamford was employed there? Was that like a GE's Connect?
Oh yeah, that
situation?
was it. I mean, you worked at the boatyard. There was a great boatyard that helped out in World War II, of
Yep.
course. And then there was a lot of mom and pops, and there were a lot of Italians in Stamford who worked with their hands and did the masonry and did the carpentry, etc., etc., etc. But the real industry was Yale in town, and then Condé Nast came to town, and they started to make magazines. Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
You didn't know that.
Yeah, you knew that. You knew that.
So Columbus Park. What
Yeah.
came first, Bobby V's or Columbus Park?
Columbus Park was there,
Okay.
and the park itself, not the trattoria.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Okay,
Yeah.
Columbus Park Trattoria came after Bobby V's.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. The only place in 1979 that was really operable was Papa's Pizza.
Gotcha.
There was a place called the Villa, which was spectacular in that it opened at 7 a.m. and it never closed.
Yeah.
It was supposed to close at 1, but it went around. I think they cleaned up a little at 6 a.m. and then opened again. And it was basically a bar. They had some popcorn, and there was a shot and a beer, and a lot of the guys hung out there. The place next to the Villa was
Does
called...
it bum you out that we don't have those places?
Well, they got a bad rep.
Yeah, sure.
You know, they got a bad rep because the guy didn't go home and the shot and the beer became another shot and
Gotcha.
the beer.
Fair.
But the owner of that was a guy named Bobby Darling, who is probably one of the most philanthropic guys in the city. He sponsored all the youth baseball teams. He provided the bus, even drove the bus when teams would leave town and go to different tournaments. And he would make collections at his bar, the Villa, which was, like I say, spectacular. And then the place I took over, which is still there now, and it's blue, and it's a wonderful Greek restaurant.
That's what's the name of the place now?
Yeah, I just ate lunch there. I know the name of the place now.
What is it?
It,
Cuisinas.
It's Cuisina.
It's Cuisina, yeah.
Yeah, Cuisina.
Great spot.
Cuisina. Great, great food. The place I bought was called the Stagecoach Cafe.
Cool.
And it was a good steakhouse in the 30s and the 40s, and then it became a derelict place.
Gotcha.
And I kind of
Cleaned it up.
put some paint on the walls. Yeah.
So obviously, big topic right now.
Yeah.
COVID, getting through it. How did the team at Bobby V's navigate that 12-month, 18-month stretch that we're in?
Yeah, well, at the new Bobby V's, it was really difficult because it's such a big place, and had no outdoor dining. Had just those 12 seats, so we actually closed. Now our employees stayed employed for the most part. I think 90% of them did,
Wow.
and we just kind of closed the doors for a best of 4.5 months.
Wow.
Yeah, which was quite the hit. And then, we came back 25%, and who wants to work for 25% of the tips?
Yeah.
And then 50%, and you know how stressful it's been to hire people
Yeah.
coming back out of COVID.
It's been almost impossible. But
Yeah.
how would the current government was the first city in Stamford to put us all into a curfew? There was very little notice. How would things, and it's hard to say, but how would things have been different if you were the mayor?
Well, I might have had a little different slant on it, only because I know that a lot of places that stay open after 8 o'clock stay open because of the sporting event.
Yep.
And the sporting event cannot end at 9 o'clock.
No shot.
And so no one was going, no one was staying, no one was working. I'm not sure how he would have changed it, and I'd hate to second guess. I'm not one of those guys, but I would at least had an empathy for those people who work and own and also visit the establishments after 9 o'clock at night.
Sure. And so, Bob, you've got quite the career. Growing up in Stamford, superstar athlete, professional ball player, manager, was in Japan managing a team. You won the Japanese World Series out there. Did some television work, been in film. Why mayor of Stamford now?
And I also, last 8 years, been the executive director of athletics at Sacred Heart.
Okay,
which
left
is
that one out.
It's a really cool thing. And we have a lot of people in Stamford who are graduates of Sacred Heart, and I don't want to slight them. But, right now, coming out of COVID, I think every city needs great leadership. And great leadership comes from people who have great experiences. Now, I always talk about my backpack being filled with my experiences, the good ones and the bad ones.
Sure.
And you reach into that backpack when you get to the fork in the road and you have to make a decision, right?
Right.
We made a lot of decisions during COVID. We adjusted to what needed to be adjusted to, right? From mask to no mask, from indoor, outdoor, the whole 9 yards. Well, we have to understand that's going to be the way of life for a while. And the leadership of our city has got to be nimble, be able to adjust, and have experience to make good decisions. I'm running because my backpack tells me I'm exactly the guy to lead us out of the pandemic and into a great future. Stamford should lead. Stamford should not follow. Stamford should be not only the best city in this state, but the best city in this corridor, coming out, being vibrant, understanding the needs of the people, and fulfilling them.
100% agree with you. I mean, you're seeing a tremendous amount of investment. There's more coming. There's more development. Seeing what the South End is now. Downtown's even growing. Businesses are moving here at a rapid clip. It's a huge opportunity time for our city, and for our restaurants. That's how we view it too. Is we gotta make sure that package is nice and neat. We've had so many new residents come in. What you're running unaffiliated, and
Yes.
I found that to be pretty interesting because right now it's probably one of the more divisive political times I've seen in my lifetime. Tell me about the decision behind running unaffiliated.
Well, it's just as you mentioned. I don't want to divide anything. I want to have things come together. The only way they come together is by understanding the other side. Right now, in this two political party system that we have, they don't even listen to the other side. How could they possibly understand? So you need someone to come in with a neutral viewpoint on all matters so that both sides have a seat at the table and good decisions can be made. When you say unaffiliated, you got to understand that's unaffiliated from all parties. That means I'm with all parties.
Sure.
If you just flip it, and if you're with everyone, you have a chance of moving forward.
I like that. All right, cool. So,
Yeah.
so when is election day?
November 2nd.
Do people have to get registered in advance of that, or is there same day registration?
No, you have to be advanced registration. There's probably going to be absentee ballot across the board. Like anyone will be able to do it because of COVID.
Right.
Okay. But, everything has to be done by November 2nd.
Okay. All right. So, what else we got here, Bobby?
Yeah, you got it. Huh?
Let's see. We got.
But you have a beautiful view here.
I do.
You were one
I
of the
do.
lucky guys at Stanford.
It's true.
Yes.
It's true. Let me ask you a question. Bill de Blasio yesterday for New York City put in a vaccine passport for restaurants and small businesses. What kind of impact would that have on a city like Stamford or on Bobby V's?
I don't want to be the one regulating whether or not somebody has a passport coming into my restaurant. The family of 5 comes in and the father left his passport at home.
Right.
What are we going to do? How do you regulate that? I don't get that whole program, to tell you the truth. But if it has to be a state mandate, I know we'll adjust and adapt because that's what good people do. But I think that's really putting a burden on the restaurant owner. You know, who enforces?
No, I mean,
Who-
that's the problem.
What do you do?
You
Do
know,
you turn on the lights and go around and say, hey, does everybody here have a passport? And then do you get blamed if it's a false
yeah,
vaccine passport? Like you get blamed if it's a false driver's license? What is that?
sure, I'm with you. I mean,
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
really did, you know, a lot of these mandates, a lot of these rules, a lot of this guidance, turn to industry people who are accustomed to saying yes to everything into rule enforcers and telling people no and telling people to space out to the point where we had to hire security.
It's too hard. You're hiring security. You're trying to hire waitresses and give them more money than they've ever made before, which is probably a good thing to get them to come here. But some of your competition coming into town are giving bonuses for people just to apply and start working for them. What's that coming to?
Sally's is offering $1,000.
$1,000.
$1,000.
You come to work for me.
Right.
I'll give you $1,000 before I even know if you could work.
Unbelievable.
Holy cow.
And you know that the odds of that person working out are about 10%.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, to go more than 6 months,
Sure,
about
sure,
10%.
sure.
Yeah.
So if you could tell, I mean, what's that? Morgan, what?
And paid time off.
And paid time off they're getting as well.
And EMP is doing the same thing.
11 Madison Park in the city is doing something similar, which is, you know, considered the #1 restaurant in the
Yep,
world.
yep.
You know, 3 Michelin, whatever, but they're offering $1,000 a person. The #1 restaurant in the world is experiencing a hiring crisis right
Tips
now.
aren't enough.
No.
No.
So if our demographic, our audience, they're, you know, on the younger side, they're in Stamford. What do you want to get across to them?
Well, one, that they're lucky to be in Stamford because it's a cool place to be.
With you.
And that they have to embrace the fact that Stamford is the most diverse city, maybe on the entire East Coast. And they have to understand that that's all part of our fabric and embrace it, not straight arm it. Not get segregated into going to just places where just people who look like them go, if you know what I mean. And I want those people to understand that the perception of our schools is a bad perception, but the schools are really good. We have great teachers. We have great graduation rates. Our kids graduate and go to great colleges, but we need to improve the facilities, and that's going to take a great effort by the taxpaying citizens of the community. And I want them to not only rent here, to live here, I want them to rent here and then own here. And I want them to have their dogs go to our vets, and I want their kids to go to our schools. I want them to be a part of the fabric of the community, and you can help with that by making sure that they enjoy coming back to your place all the time, which they do now, and that's what brings that neighborhood together. Huh? That's what brings the community together, that people go to the same place and they support the same place. And usually ownership drives that.
100%. Guys, Bobby Valentine, I think he's going to be the next mayor of Stamford.
Wow.
Get out there and let's vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool, man.
Wow. If that really